Series, and today we'll be discussing basic Linux commands and some bash scripting. So there are several commands you could use in a terminal to perform several actions. The first one is the ls command. It's used to list all the files or folders that you currently have in your current directory. A directory is like a folder. So you could use the ls command in various ways. You could use ls-a. That displays like all of the hidden files and folders that are present in the repository. And when you use ls-la, it uses this format, so it shows all the files, the hidden files, and then their permissions. So probably some users have only read-only permissions, some users have read and write-only permissions. All of that are displayed in detail when you use the ls-la command. So let's go to another command to discuss about now. We have the pwd command, which is the branch working directory. So this is used to display the absolute parts of your current directory. Like let's say you are working on a big project and you've moved into several directories. You want to know where exactly you are. You can run this command to find that out. So let's move on to the make directory. Now let's say you want to create a new folder for your project or whatever it is, and then the command to do that is mkdir, and then you provide the name of your directory. So before we do that, I'll move into my project directory. So now this command cd is to change directory, to move into a folder. So for example, I'm currently in my home folder. Let's say when I do the ls command, I have several directories here, including the project directory. Now if I want to go into this directory, I will have to run the cd change directory project. Now you can see I am in the project folder. So now when I list my files, they show the contents of this folder. These are some of my projects. Now you can also run the ls command to display the contents of another folder. So I have this users folder right here now. If I want to find out the content of this folder, I can run the ls and users. So this shows the contents of that folder. So now to make a new folder, you can mkdir, and you provide the name of your folder. Let's say new folder. Now when I list my files again, you find this folder is already created. New folder was created for us. So now if you want to delete it, let's say you don't need it anymore, you can run the rm-r command and then pass in the name of the folder, new folder. And when I list my files again, it's gone. So let me create a new folder, and you can see how this terminal interacts with our file system easily. So let me create a new folder, mkdir move into the folder cdalx. Now this I just did here is called a wildcard operator, right? So I have several folders in the previous folder, right? And only one of them matches this name. So this means that I want to look for a folder that begins with this name and has one or more values after this alx underscore le. So the only folder that matches it is this, which means I end up in this folder. So now let me list my files. It's empty. We don't have any files here. So now just to see how this works with your computer, I can just open VS Code so you can see how files are created and how it responds. I open VS Code for this same folder. So I'm going to AO. So now I've opened this same folder that is open in the terminal in my VS Code. So for now, for new learners, I would recommend you don't use VS Code for your project, because you need to understand how the terminal works better, how to work with files in the terminals and all of that. So then as you move on, you can move on to VS Code as you like, and most likely on an Ubuntu device. Currently I'm running on Ubuntu 22.04. And now let's create a new file. So to create a new file, you can use several commands. You can use the touch command. So touch creates a new empty file. So let's say I want to touch new.txt. When I list my files now, the file is already created. Now if you go and check my VS Code here also, you'll find this new.txt also exists here. So it was created. Now you could also use the echo command. Let me use the echo. Now when you use the echo command, you have to provide a text for your file to contain. So let's say echo hello world, and then you want to provide the name of your file. So let's say echo files. You can see the echo created file also exists now, and then it will contain that same string that I provided in this place. It will contain this value. Now you can display the content of the text file in your terminal using the cat command. So the cat provides it to print out the content of the file for you. And when I run the cat echo created file, you can see it displays the hello world that was passed into the file. So this file currently contains this string hello world. And if I go ahead and check my VS Code, you find it's the same thing, hello world. So this is like you are working with your computer but from the terminal instance. So now let's go on to use the command line editors to edit or create new files. There are several command line editors like Vim, like Nano, like Emacs, but it's causing just two of them in this session. One of it is Vim. Let's go to that. So now to run the Vim command, you can use the vim and then the name of your file. You can use a new file, you can use an existing file. It works fine. So let's list my files here now. List my files. I have echo created file and new.txt. So now let me edit the current file new.txt, so I can use vim new.txt. So I have not installed Vim in my computer, so I will have to like do that now. So let's say for example you have not installed it in yours also. I would give you an example of how to work with that. So just give me a minute. So now to install the Vim editor in your command online terminal, usually this is pre-installed in several devices, but as it's not installed on mine, so I'll go through the installation with you. Now to install it, you have to use the sudo apt install vim. And when you run this command, you need to go ahead, take a few minutes, provide my sudo user password, and then to reach packet list. Then it might take a few minutes or seconds to work. Just continue and wait for it to install. I'm currently having some internet issues, so just give me a few minutes to connect to the internet. Now I think that's fixed. So I run the same command, and it should work this time. So now we have the Vim editor properly installed. I can go ahead and run the command again, vim new.txt. So that opens a command line editor for you to type in the text of the file that you are trying to edit. So let's say I want to type in the word hello. So now before you begin to work with your Vim editor, you have to type the I button to change the inputs to insert. Let me exit this first now. So now let's say I want to open it again. Now you can see on this part of the screen it's showing you the txt. Now before you can begin to like edit your code, edit your file, whatever, you have to like type the I button, click the I button once to change this to insert. So only then can you begin to like type into the terminal for you to edit your file. Now let's go on to like type the word hello. This file was edited using Vim. Now to save your file, you have to use the escape button once. Then you can use the double colon W and Q as you see in this part of the screen. Then you provide the enter button. So now your file is saved. So now if you want to confirm if it's saved, you can use the cat command once again to display the contents of the file new.txt. cannot see, it's showing the text that we typed into the editor a few seconds ago. So now let's say you want to like delete this file, for example. I don't need it anymore. We use the rm command for that. So now rm new.txt. Now the file is gone, as you can see. So now there are several other commands. We'll be treating a few of them today, and we'll be learning more as we progress in the course. So let's move on to like editing, adding some other commands to our knowledge. So now another command you could use is, hold on. So now another command you could use to move files from certain folders to the other or rename files is the mv command. So now let's say I have another folder in this folder, make directory, new directory. So now when I list my files, I find the file I created and also the new directory. So let me create a new file, just touch an empty file. And I list my files via the empty file, the echo created file, and then the new directory. So now if I want to move this empty file into the new directory, one of the ways you could do that is, let's say I'm working with my normal VS Code, I could just move the file into the new directory folder, and that would work fine. But now to work with the terminal, you have to do something different. You have to run a command. Now that command is the mv command. So the mv is like it's self-definitive, it's the move command. Now you provide the move command, then you provide the file that you want to move, which is the empty, and then the destination where you want to move it to. So I want to move my file, the empty file, from this current directory to the new directory folder. So all I have to do is now to provide the new dir. Now when I list my files, you find it's not here, but now it's in the new directory. As you can see, it worked fine. But also you could want to copy a file, for example, so that uses cp command. Now let's say I want to copy the contents of this empty file back to my current directory. So I could just do cp new directory and the empty. I can just provide dots. Or let's say I want to move into a new file, I can say new copied file. Now when I list my files again, you can see we have the new copied file copied from the new directory empty file. So how this work, this command, how this work is, since we have the empty file inside of the new directory folder, what we have to do is provide the new directory folder, then a slash showing that we want to continue into that folder, and then whatever is here will be added to it. So we are copying the empty file from the new directory folder. So that's how this works. So now let's say we have the ls command. Now we have the new copied file and then the empty file in the new directory. So they will contain the same thing because it's copied. So now let's say I want to delete it. We don't need the new dir command anymore. So now rm, so you could use rm-r new dir, so to remove the folder. So now that is gone. So now there are several commands you could use. Now let's say I want to install a software. As you saw earlier, I used the sudo install vim to install a an application in my terminal, right? Now let's imagine you want to like have several commands running at the same time, or you want to like run one after the other. So that's where the bash script comes in. Now when you create a bash script, nano yet, let's continue with vim for now. Now when I click run vim and then let's say script. Now let's say this is supposed to be a bash script, right? Now the first thing you do, as I said earlier, you click on I to change the method to insert, and now you can do this. So for every bash script you should do this. Now let's say we want to like create a new file whenever we run this script. Let's say touch new file from script. So whenever we run this script, it should create a new file for us called new file from script. Now let's exit and save the file. Now before you run a shell script or a bash script or whatever it is in your terminal, you have to, like, enable yourself. You have to grant the permission to execute the script. So how you do that is chmod. So this changes the mode to u+x, so it makes it executable for you, the user. Now if you don't do that, you can see how this happens. So now if you want to run this script, I say /script. You can see let's run. That's my spelling, don't mind me. script. You can see it's showing permission denied because we have not granted ourselves the permission to execute this script. So how we do that is chmod u+x and the file name. And when I run this and I run the previous command again, /script, it works fine without any errors. But now let's see what happens. When I list my files now, you can find new file from script was created because it was there when we ran the script and it was created for us. Now let's remove this file and go on to make some changes to our bash script. rm new start. Now this removes every file. It's a wildcard operator, as I've explained earlier. This removes every file that matches this description. So any file that contains new as the beginning and one or more value at the end of the new will be deleted. Now if you check these two files now, they match these requirements because they have new and more letters at the end of it, new. Now when I list my files, you'll find that those files are gone. So this is something that is very tricky to use, and I would strongly recommend you don't use it until you know how to properly use it, because if you try with some dummy files and not with some your code actually, because you could end up deleting things you don't delete. So you try with some dummy files before beginning to use them in your day-to-day activities. So now let's edit our script one more time. So now to move on to another editor that we could be using is the Nano editor. It's also a command line editor, but it's quite different from the Vim editor in the use case. Now let's say I want to run the Nano editor to edit my script. You can see it's displaying, like, almost the same format as the Vim editor, but just some little differences. Now we have the text that we provided before, the command, the touch command. Well, now in contrast to the Vim editor, you don't have to type anything before you begin to enter your letters into the editor here. In Vim, you have to type the I button before you can begin to input your data. But now it's not required in the Nano editor. You can just begin to type as soon as you open the editor. So now let's move on to change this name of this file. Let's say hello.txt, and then after creating the file, we want to provide in some input into the file. Let's say echo hello from Nano, and then we want to provide this output into the hello.txt file. So we provide hello.txt file. Now if you use this echo command without providing an output file, it will just print to you to the command. So we can just print echo done. So this will print it to the terminal without any file output. So now let's save this file and see what happens. Now to save your file in the Nano editor, you have to use the Ctrl+X, then you type the Y button, Y, and enter. So that saves your file and exits the editor at the same time. So now if you run the /script again, first let's list our files so you can see how it works. We have only two files here, the echo created file and the script. Now when I run the script again using /script, you can see it's printed done because we did not provide the file that it prints to. So you can now see that the script runs successfully without any errors. And then when we list our files again, you can see we have the hello.txt that was created. And if what we wrote in the script worked properly, we should be having the hello from Nano text instead of the file. So now to verify that, we use the cat command, hello.txt. Now you can see hello from Nano is in the file, so it worked properly. So for now, let's keep to that. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section or just in the WhatsApp group. So thank you everyone for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Goodbye.